What is King Arthur the role-playing wargame? Is it an RPG or a strategy game? Well, let me break this down to you. Take Total War, preferably Medieval 2, add in fantasy elements such as dragons, orcs, and all that good stuff, add in the King Arthur lore, add RPG elements, and you got yourself the game. That's a pretty damn good concoction, but does it live up to the awesome premise? It's time to gather the Knights of the Round Table and prepare for battle. This is King Arthur, the role-playing war game. After you start the campaign and pick your difficulty level, you're given a pretty good tutorial explaining some of the battle mechanics and the way provinces work. I recommend for all players to go through the tutorial at least once, since there are some very unique features regarding the battle engine. The most prominent feature to me is the use of spells during battle. These are absolutely essential to victory, especially in the more difficult battles you'll face down the road. They range from simple stupid ones like a stupid little coat of fog to weaken the overpowered archers, to more epic ones like cloaking, ice spikes, healing, and even a lightning bolt to make you feel like Zeus. In short, the spells are satisfying and can really help to turn the battle in your favor. In each battle, there are capture locations on the map that will provide benefits upon capture. Whoever has less captured locations will gradually decline in their battle gauge, aka morale on top. Each point on the battlefield will also provide a variety of benefits that range from additional spells you can use to an increase in the amount of loot received at the end of the battle. I like this as it adds another layer of strategy on an already tactical game. In some strange way, it reminds me of how Dynasty Warriors Empires would look as a strategy game. As in Total War and other strategy games, you have your fair share of unit types: archers, spearmen, cavalry, light cavalry, heavy infantry, etc. But in this game, you get some pretty unique fantasy units such as giants, dragons, wolves, Seelie, Unseelie, and a bunch more. These giant dudes you see right here are my absolute favorite. They are straight up juggernauts that will never go down in battle, unless they're against other giants. Among the unit types, there's a bit of an imbalance. Scratch that. There is a huge imbalance. Archers are easily the best in the game as they can take down the heaviest of soldiers with ease. Every arrow pretty much kills an enemy in one hit, even when the enemy is in a loose formation. The accuracy is nothing short of spot on. But honestly, even though there is an option to weaken the archers, I decided not to do that as the difficulty spikes in the later half of the game. I don't want to get into it right now, so we'll get back into that later. One thing I do want to get into, however, are the graphics. While the environments and the units do look nice, the animations are just ugly. Everyone looks to be in a damn cluster when they are fighting, and the amount of clipping I see is too damn high. Also, every time I zoom up into the units, the frame rate drops to less than 30, even when I'm not recording. The optimization is piss poor. Just like with Total War games, there is the side of managing your faction along with the battles. This involves taxation, building and maintaining your armies, but there's also a few little new twists to the formula as well. Food is another resource that needs to be accounted for. Making sure you have enough food to feed your army is important to maintaining their morale. But honestly, food can be neglected to a degree as your units don't die out of starvation. On the map, you can participate in these adventure quests, which are pretty much pick and choose. Depending on the choices you pick will have an effect on your morality, whether or not you fight, and the possibility of some sweet rewards. This could be either story specific or plain old randomly generated. Surprisingly, I enjoyed them much more than I thought, especially the one that rewarded me with a legitimate dragon at the end. That's extremely badass. Compared to Total War, the main campaign is much more linear in nature. Quests will appear throughout the game telling you what to do next. Some give you a time limit, while others you can pretty much take your time with. Even though it does limit your freedom, as straying away from these quests will make your army severely underpowered later on, they help to give a sense of direction and present you to the lore of the King Arthur universe. The level of depth and complexity regarding Provincial Management is pretty solid. To keep your Knights of the Round Table happy, you can give them women to marry, land to marriage, and artifacts to wield. All of these things have their various benefits and drawbacks, so it's important to carefully plan each decision. It's cool that your heroes can level up, but your regular units can do so as well. This is done during winter as armies are not able to invade. Once a regular unit reaches level 5, they are able to select a special skill unique to that unit type. Some allow you to use fire arrows, lower terrain penalties, give you a huge attack bonus, and so much more. This makes it all the more important to keep your units alive from the start, as you'll need it. Trust me. Eventually, you'll own a Stronghold. With the Stronghold, you get the ability to research new unit types, enact certain laws, build buildings, and a few more little options here and there. As before, all provide their own benefit and some might have a takeaway. This is part of the game that got me really excited and made me honestly feel like a legitimate king. Conquering Britannia was no longer a pastime. It became my destiny. Depending on your actions taken throughout the game, you'll end up somewhere on the morality chart. North and South constitutes rightful or tyrant, while East and West regard Christianity and the Old Faith. In order to experience the full benefit, it's important to know where you want to be right away, as being in the middle will deny you access to various edicts, spells, and units. This game might not seem that hard at first, but trust me, this game gets really hard and almost impossible, especially in the later half. The problem is the way the game scales with your army. It's horrible. You might have the most powerful army in one turn, then have a measly one on the next that can't even take on the next opponent. This makes it even worse since only one unit can attack at once, so reinforcements don't exist at all, even if a squad is right next to yours. It was so bad on normal difficulty that I didn't even want to complete the campaign anymore. I wasn't gaining enough money to maintain my massive armies anyways, and auto-resolving is a complete joke. You'll end up playing every single battle, which is good in theory. I get why they did that, but it makes the game more of a chore to get through. But there's gotta be something more to this game that offers more of a sandbox campaign, where I can do what I want and don't have to worry about a linear progression. Maybe a campaign without those AI quirks? Maybe? Kind of? Please? Well, I got something close to it. There are two new campaigns you can purchase, the Droid campaign and the Saxons campaign. I picked the Droid campaign since the Old Faith is just awesome. I got hyped once again because there were multiple victory conditions to choose from. How awesome is that? There are also a plethora of new things to do. Not only do you start out with a stronghold, but you can also mess with a well done diplomacy system, be able to recruit new heroes, woo women across the land, launch ploys against other factions, and a bunch more. I couldn't wait to play through this campaign and to finally get to the end. The Welsh Kingdom is on the rise. Sadly, the difficulty spikes still exist. Once you defeat an army, another one spawns with a higher level hero already recruiting new soldiers. Even though it's a bit easier than the main campaign, it isn't by much. The various AI tropes still exist to ruin your day, but thank God for those overpowered archers. Without them, I wouldn't know what to do. So even if you don't care about the campaigns, you can still mess around with the battles, as there is a skirmish option. I honestly had a lot more fun with these quick battles than the campaign, as the battles you have are on much more equal footing, unlike the campaign battles. Overall, this game is a bit of a mixed bag. I like the adventures you can participate in, the spells are pretty much badass, and the Saxon and Droid campaign were really fun to play through, better than the main campaign. However, the difficulty spikes to borderline cheapness regardless of the campaign. The frame rate is a huge problem, and the units are unbalanced as believing in the Old Faith yields stronger units. With this game, you'll either love it or hate it, or just fall right in between, which is where I am at. Just to be on the safe side, I will recommend it, but only slightly. If you like the battle dynamics and are looking for a more fantasy version of Total War, you should definitely try it out. If you are put off by the poorly designed difficulty, then stay away. Hopefully that solved everyone's problem. As always, I'm off to find the next game to look at. Follow me on Twitter, the link is in the description. Thank you guys for watching as always, and this is Pow3rh0use, signing off.